Hello friends, can you hear me? If you can hear me, I would be glad if you can type something on the chat. Okay, I'm just giving a few more minutes because actually there is a lag between what when I'm speaking and also when it appears on Facebook. All right. By the way, this is my first time doing StreamYard streaming service. If there is a hiccup, please bear with me lah. Okay. I hope you can see the messages. I've sent a message regarding how you can join my uh, social media platform, whether it be from Facebook or Telegram, even YouTube channel, right? Okay. Because the reason why I'm not speaking right now because as I speak, there is a lag and then I'm listening from my phone, right? So I'm listening to myself and when I'm listening to myself, I'm just pausing for a while. I think it takes some time for me to get used to this. Okay, so let's give a few more minutes before I begin my presentation. So again, I would like to thank you for joining me in this at this time on this day. You could be having your time with family. You could be spending your time perhaps having lunch, or perhaps you guys are outside uh, shopping or doing something, right? And with the current COVID situation, I hope all of you are in a better position. With the current vaccination being rolled out, I hope things will get better soon. I have been in Singapore. It's been a year since I haven't gone back home, and I can't wait for the border to be open, and I can't wait to go back home and visit my family. Right? I'm sure the same is for all of us, right? So it's our collective duty to fight this COVID together. So this morning you saw my video when I was at my workplace, okay, and then now I'm in my room. So what happened is that I went to my lab this morning to do a quick lab work, and then I quickly rushed back home to continue this. All right. So when you work for someone else, these things is part and parcel of the work, right? Okay, at 12:05, I will begin my presentation. So thank you for your patience. And so again, in this session, we are just going to go through a few things, mainly on how inflation, all right, how inflation eats away the purchasing value of our money, and what can we do to um, to reduce the damage. All right, we cannot eliminate, that's for sure, but we can try to reduce. All right. Okay. Let me just share my screen. Okay, I hope you can see my screen. Right? Can you see my screen? If you can see my screen, perhaps you can uh, give a like or can comment or something. I just want to make sure that you are looking at my slide. Right. But actually, from my phone, I am able to do so. Right. From my phone, I am able to look at my slide. So I think it should be okay, right? So, okay, let's begin then. Thank you so much for joining me. Some of you might be joining, will be looking at this later on. It's okay, no problem. I'm glad that you are taking the time to look at this presentation to understand further what am I doing. Because you might be thinking that Naresh, who never posts on Facebook, now here he is doing live session, and of course for the couple of days you saw me posting videos on Facebook, right? So the reason is being that I feel it's time for me to do something because I have benefited from this program, and I thought it's time for me to share to my friends and my family as well. All right. So before I begin, I think it's better for me to put a disclaimer to indicate to you all that first of all, I am not an investment expert. All right, I am not an investment expert, and the presentation today is meant for educational purpose. And the sharing that I'm going to perform today, the sharing session today, is nothing more than sharing my experience during my journey in this public goal, right? So, if you choose to join or to make use of the features in this public goal program, please make sure that you understand what are the things that you are doing, so that you know that you are not that you understand, to make sure that you understand what is this program all about before you jump into it. So in the process, if you have questions, do ask me. Okay, you can always ask me and I'll be able to help you along or to answer your doubts, right? So that is just the slide. I'm just putting a slide here as a disclaimer, right? So the agenda for today. Today I'm going to go through a couple of things. First thing is introduction on how did I get started, right? How did I get started with this public goal and precious metals? And then I'm going to talk about the problem itself, right? Which is the inflation eating away the purchasing power of our money. And then what can we do to protect our money from further damage? All right. Okay, let me just hold on. Let me just okay. So yeah, that is the content, right? We're going to go through this topic where we're going to look at how can we protect by using the program that I'm going to talk about. And last but not least, we're going to end with a Q&A session, which is also can be done offline. Okay, so some of you, maybe you do not have the question during this presentation, but perhaps you will think some questions, and then you can always come back to me after the sharing session, right? So I started with this public goal in the year 2019 after reading the book Misi Bebas Hutang and also Wang Emas. If you look at the book behind me, right? Yeah, so that is the book Wang Emas, where the person on the cover page, his name is Tuan Zulkifli Shafi'i. He is my goal mentor, right? He is my goal mentor. And then after reading this, I thought the program and the features all sounded too good to be true. Therefore, I decided to give it a try and experimented myself. Therefore, what I did, I started the Gap account, which is what I'm going to share with you today. And then I also did a direct purchase of the products. And after I purchased the products, I just on and off. I just looked at the price, and then I did not do any active involvement. But by late 2020, I noticed that the gold price has appreciated so much. And then when I look back at the Gap account and also the products that I purchased, I realized that the value of my money which I use to protect by using gold has appreciated. That's when I realized that this is something that I need to share to more people, right? And yes, that's how I started. But actually, before coming to Public Gold, my interest in precious metals was already was already there in the year 2012, and I started by with silver coins. Right, silver coins. Silver is usually regarded as the poor man's gold because of its lower cost as compared to gold. Though both of these metals are under precious metals, but in terms of price, silver is relatively cheaper. But as I proceed in my journey, I believe that it's better to start having or start protecting our money using the form of gold, right? So that's where I just started my journey using Public Gold, and like I said, I've seen the appreciation, and I believe that this is something that everybody can appreciate as well, right? Um, so allow me to start by showing you this picture. And by looking at the picture, I think you understand what is the gist of what I'm trying to say over here, whereby you can see there is a picture of 100 ringgit in the year 2000, 2010, and 2020. And in the year 2000, with the same 100 ringgit, you can get perhaps a trolley of grocery items, right? And in 2010, you can see that the same 100 ringgit, though the design looks more modern, but if you look at the convertibility to the grocery items, right, with the same 100 ringgit, when you want to buy grocery items, you would see that the item is decreasing. The number of items is decreasing. And in 2020, again, the design became more modern, right? But then when you look at the convertibility in terms of products, you can see that the products is even lesser. What happened here? We understand that the same 100 ringgit remains the same, the number is the same, but in terms of value, what happened to the value? The value has dropped, right? The value has dropped. This is something that not only noticeable by me, but noticeable by everybody. How? How, we may ask? Because our parents also used to say that when they were kids, they go to school, their pocket money was only 50 cents, right? And we also hear our grandparents, when they speak, they say that they say they need about 20 cents in order to buy grocery items, right? And when we talk about this, right, we consider this like an achievement, right? You know, those days I only need 20 cents to buy one grocery of a bucket of grocery items. You know, when I was little, when I go to school, I only need 50 cents for my pocket money. But now, when I give you 5 ringgit, you are complaining, right? Um, Actually, this is something that we should address, right? This is something that we should address, and we should do something about it, right? So that's where we look at how can we protect the value of our money. And there are few ways on how you can do that. Usually what we would do is that we would keep our money in a savings account, in a fixed deposit account. Some people even park their money in real estate. They invest it in real estate. Some even use it to invest in the stock market, right? And some also invest in precious metals or save it in the form of precious metals, right? And what happened here is that this list over here is not the only things that you can do. I included these 5 just to get the discussion started. There are actually more than this. You can do more things than these 5 things over here. In the next slide, I'm going to talk about what are the uh, what are the benefits and also challenges in each of these categories, right? Let me just go through this. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next slide. I'm not sure whether you can see this content or not, but let me just make it big, right? If I make it, I think you can see much better, right? Okay, so here, when we look at savings account, benefits, in terms of benefits, is accessible, right? Because this is the most easiest thing that we would do. We open a savings account and then we place all our savings there, right? So usually in order to start also, I think if it's not few hundred, maybe about 150 ringgit, you can already open the savings account. But it comes with a challenge. The challenge is that the interest rate that is being paid is very low, right? It's very low. Apart from that, people also can use or can consider fixed deposit. So fixed deposit is when people, or you can place a pool of money in a account, and the benefit here is that the rate that you are getting is much higher than savings account, right? But it comes with another set of challenge, meaning you have to place this amount of money for a certain duration of time, right? And let's say for some reason you want to withdraw that money, right? You can do so, but usually it comes with a penalty, right? They might ask you to pay some fee in order to for this arrangement, right? So that is with fixed deposit. Some even want to use real estate in order to protect their money, right? Definitely, real estate is an excellent tool, right? Property, real estate is an excellent tool because the value of this property or land or real estate will definitely appreciate over time, right? In fact, you can even use this real estate to generate passive income, right? For example, let's say if you have an apartment and then you rent it out, and then the rental that you get, right? And then you get rental from your tenant, and that rental is sufficient for you to pay the mortgage, and then the extra cash that you have is your passive income, right? So there are strategies on how you can do this. In fact, the famous real estate investor, Robert Kiyosaki, that is his game, right? So when he wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, this is something that he's been preaching about. Okay, but again, it also has a set of challenges where you need a high capital, right? You cannot start with 100 ringgit. That is the caveat. And let's say if you decide to sell the property, though there are market, okay, there are people who might buy, but it's not as easy, right? You need to find the best buyer. You need to arrange for the viewing, and then you have to do assessment of the property. So there are so many processes involved before you could flip the property in order to earn your profit, right? So this is the challenge with real estate, right? Apart from that, stock market is also another way on how you can protect or even grow your savings. But stock market is what you must. There is a trick, right? The reason why I'm saying this because I'm also a stock market. I also invest. Okay, I also invest in the stock market, and the approach that I take is called value investing approach, which means that I find businesses which have good cash flow, which they earn money, and also have good future. Yeah, so essentially, we look for companies with good fundamentals, right? So this philosophy is based on the principles of Warren Buffett. In Singapore, there is this guru. His name is Caden. In fact, he is my value investing mentor. He is the one who taught me on how to find good businesses, by looking at the fundamentals on how to understand the numbers and how to know whether the company has plans in store to grow further in future, right? So this is something is where on how you can park your money and potentially grow the money, right? But the trick here is that finding that particular company, that is the trick. It's not as easy as googling which company to buy today, right? Though if you google, some answers will be there, but is it really um, the one, right? You have to do further due diligence. Okay. And of course, last but not least is precious metals. Precious metals, as we know, is something that will where the value will increase over time, right? And it is also the original form of money when we look from the historical perspective, right? And there is also challenge. Okay, precious metals is not the best tool. It has its own challenge also. First is that it doesn't give out dividend, unlike what we see in stock market, right? In stock market, if you choose the good business, a good business, when they make money, the money will be redistributed back to the shareholders in the form of dividend. Whereas precious metals do not do that. Okay, and precious metals also may or may not be Sharia compliant. What does it mean? It means that in Sharia compliance, one of the requirement is that when the transaction is about buying gold, you need to receive gold. That is the Sharia compliance, one of the components, right? And not all gold savings program or the precious metals program that is available may comply to this requirement. All right. So this is something that we should take note before we jump into any particular tool to protect or even grow the value of our money. Right. Let me just bring back myself so that we can go to the next slide. Okay, next. Some may ask that, Naresh, you are talking about this inflation that is eating away the value of our money, right? But is it even valid even today, right? How sure that we are being affected? Allow me to share with you this situation which took place in a country known as Venezuela. If you look at the picture on the left, you can see a stack of cash over there, and next to it you can see a roll of tissue. And if you can read the wordings at the bottom, it means you need to spend 2.6 million bolivar in order to buy one roll of tissue, right? Another example, let's look at the picture on the right. Again, it's a picture of a bigger stack of cash, and there is a whole chicken over there, right? It means you need to spend 14.6 million bolivar in order to buy one whole chicken. What happened over here? Does it mean that the quality of the tissue is so great that you need to spend 2.6 million bolivar to buy that tissue, right? Or do you think the quality of the chicken is that great that you need to spend 14.6 million in order to buy that chicken, right? Actually, we know that is not the case, right? What happened here is that the value of the money has dropped so much, right? The value of money has dropped so much that you need to spend more money in order to buy the same item, which is similar to what we saw earlier in the 100 ringgit in 2000 versus 100 ringgit in 2010 and 100 ringgit in 2020, right? And this is also another news article where it says that Venezuela inflation accelerates, meaning it speeds up. It increases by 65.7% in November, which means the value of their money is going to go down by 65.7, meaning the currency is going to weaken even more right? This is not good, right? We work so hard, we earn our money, we save in the bank, we thought that we are doing a good job by doing that. But when the value of the money is decreasing over time, how are we supposed to work things out, right? So that's where this comes in the picture, where if we convert a portion of our money in the form of gold, okay, and at the same time we all know that gold appreciates over time, right? As gold appreciates over time, what happened along the process, the the value of your money is protected, and at the same time it grows, right? For example, if you look at the picture here, this is a picture of 1 gram of gold, right? In the year 2000, the price is 34 ringgit. In 2010, 1 gram of gold is worth 120 ringgit. And in 2020, the price of gold of 1 gram is 206 ringgit, right? So let's say if you are able to liquidate or sell 1 gram of gold in this particular time point, and you have that cash, with that cash, you mostly are able to get the amount of grocery items across these 3 time points. This is the idea. Okay, so now I believe I have given you a brief introduction on how, by converting a portion of our savings in the form of gold, can help us to understand or can help us to protect the value of the money and at the same time grow along the momentum, right? This is where I want to introduce to you this program known as Gold Accumulation Program, or GAP in short. If you look at the picture on the left side, right, you can see there is an hourglass, and if you look at the top part, someone was depositing a ringgit, and then what happened is that the ringgit gets converted into gram, right? If you look at the picture on the right side, these are the types of gold bars which Public Gold offers. Okay, I think let me just enlarge my slide. I just want to show you my collection. Okay, do you get to see this? This is actually a 10-gram gold bar, and you can see there is a picture of Post Malaysia, which means that Public Gold collaborates with Post Malaysia and launched this particular product. Okay, you can see at the back of it there is a gold certificate, right? You can see there is the parameters of this item, like weight, and also the purity and things like that. Okay, this is one I would like to show you, and this another one is, can you see, this is actually half dinar. Okay, half dinar means it's 2.125 gram. Okay, this is one more, and then let me just share with you another one. This is 1 gram. Okay, this is 1 gram, right? I hope you can see the wordings. Basically, it tells you the weight, the width, length, thickness, right? Basically, just to show that this is a 1 gram item, right? So when I say that I have experimented this myself, I really did the experiment, right? I really bought the gold bar and I tested it myself, right? So let's go back to the slide. And what happened here is that basically what happened is that we deposit our ringgit, and our ringgit gets converted into grams of gold, right? It converted into grams of gold, and these grams of gold will be there in your account, right? So when it stays in your account, you just have to you can just consistently depositing minimum 100 ringgit and gets converted into gram and just let it grow accordingly. Or if you want, as you keep accumulating your grams of gold, you can choose to withdraw physically, right? You can choose to withdraw physically and you can keep it for yourself, like what I showed you earlier. So there are two ways on how you can go about with this gold accumulation program. Okay. Next, let's look at the benefits. What are the benefits of this gold accumulation program? First is that you can start with as little as 100 ringgit, right? You can start with as little as 100 ringgit, and if you look at the weight of these products or the weight of these grams, it will go up to 4 decimal places. Okay, and the transaction that you can make with this gold accumulation program, this program is all conducted via online, and you can do it at any time. There is no need for you to comply to some working hours, because I had this issue before. Okay, I also did a precious metals savings program in one of the institution where I can only make the purchase during the office hour, right? And usually what happens is that the price on the website would be different. And when you take the trouble, go to the institution, take the queue number, and when you go to the counter, when you ask them, what is the price will be very deviated, will be very different, right? So since you have already taken the effort to go there, I would end up just paying less, right? Because I was thinking, okay, today I'm going to buy 100 gram. So for example, when I go there, when I want to make the purchase, then suddenly they told me that the price has appreciated. And then I cannot top up 100 gram anymore, for example. So that is the problem that I faced last time. Whereas here in this public gold, no such problem. Apart from that, it's backed by physical gold. The moment that you deposited your money in this GAP account, you can withdraw these grams of gold physically, like what I showed you earlier. Okay, as little as 1 gram, like what I showed you earlier. You can do that. Okay, this is another benefit of GAP account. And another thing that I like about this program also is that in order to start this GAP account, right? In order to start this GAP account, there is no registration fee, there is no monthly fee, right? There is no safekeeping fee, and whenever you deposit the sales charge, no such thing, right? Which is something that I really like because it further reduces the cost for us as savers, as investors. Okay, and let's say if you choose to withdraw, okay, let's say you consistently accumulate the grams of gold, and then at one point of time you wanted to withdraw. When you want to withdraw, the minimum amount of gram that you can withdraw is 1 gram. Okay, you must please take note of that, because if 1 gram, then you can choose design something like this, like what I showed you earlier. Okay, or let's say if you want to withdraw a bigger grams, okay, like for example, like I showed you in the dinar, for example, right? You can do so. Okay, the option is always there. And apart from that, for the parents out there, for the parents who wants to save money for the children's education, you can always open a joint account with your child, and you can just top up 100 ringgit every month. And by the time your child reaches the age of 18 or 19 and they are ready to go into higher education, right? When they want to go to higher education, you can use these grams of gold in order to finance their education, right? At that time, we do not know whether would there be any PTPTN loan, or how's the situation gonna be like with scholarships, right? So instead of us depending on such outside factors, if we can do something at our end to protect the value of money for our children, GAP allows you to do that. This is another thing that I find it very useful, especially for parents out there. Okay, and who can benefit? So who can benefit from this gold accumulation program? First of all, saving for retirement fund. Honestly, when I first started this program, that was my intention. I wanted to start saving. I want to diversify my savings. I want to have a pool of money for my retirement, and hence I chose Gap account. This Gap account can also be useful for preparing for future commitments. Let's say, for example, 3 years or 5 years down the road, you wanted to buy a bigger house, right? If you want to buy a big house, therefore you need cash, okay? Or a few years down the road, you want to start a business, for example. You want to start a business. So what happens is that you can use these grams of gold and fund the startup or fund that business, okay? Apart from that, like I mentioned earlier, parents who want to save for their children's education fund, you can choose to do this, okay? And apart from this, the business owners out there, what you can do, let's say if you have extra capital in your business, you can convert this capital into grams of gold. Let's say, for example, 100 gram or 200 grams, and then let's say if you face some crunch time in your business where you need money urgently, right? When you need money urgently, what you can do, you can actually pledge these grams of gold. First of all, our grams of gold are all 999 quality. When it's 999 quality, the purity is much higher. When you pledge these gold bars at pawn shop, okay, you want to gadai, you want to pajak, right, at pawn shop, you can get quick cash out of it, and they will give you a particular duration of time, and then within this particular duration of time, you can roll the money back, and then you go back to that institution and claim that gold bar back, right? So for business owners, this can be an excellent way on how you can roll your business capital, right? And this program can also be useful for those who want to start saving for pilgrimage, all right? Let's say you've been working so hard and then you are thinking, okay, 10 years down the road, I want to visit the holy place. And of course, at that time, we do not know how the cost it would be, but definitely the cost will be higher. And why not we start allocating a portion of our savings for pilgrimage using Gap, all right? This could be one way on how you can utilize this Gap program, okay? And okay, in this slide over here, I want to show you the appreciation of gold price. If you look at let me just enlarge this. If you look at the bottom part over here, it's about 30,000 ringgit. Meaning in the year 1990, 1 kg of gold is worth 30,000 ringgit. And if you look what happened, in the recent years, the price of gold has went up to 240,000 ringgit. And if I were to draw a straight line connecting these two dots, it's going to go only one way, which is on the uptrend. Right? The price of gold, though in the short term it fluctuates up and down, but if you zoom out, you look at the long term, it's going to go only one way, which is on the up. This is where I believe gold can be an excellent tool, can be a good tool to potentially cover or potentially protect the value of our money. Some of you may even argue, but Naresh, in the short term, there is up and down. How if I'm losing money in that aspect, right? This is where you need to get the proper knowledge. For me, once I see the price dropping, I'm actually very happy because I get to add more grams at a cheaper price, right? I can add more grams at a cheaper price. Therefore, I'm increasing my gram so that in future, I will get more, I can actually protect more money actually in that sense. Don't you agree with me? So this is where understanding how to allocate properly and how to take advantage of the volatility of the gold price is very important. Okay. This is where I always tell to my clients that the strategy that we should take advantage of is what we call dollar cost averaging. What does it mean? It means that you deposit 100 ringgit minimum every month. Okay, so if you look at the example over here, you can see the gram. The first gram, if you can see over here, is 0.4566. If you can see, if you remember earlier, I spoke about how the grams of gold are converted, the ringgit or the deposits are converted into grams of gold up to 4 decimal places, right? This is where you can see it's appearing, right? And then if you go on, if I go on just depositing 100 ringgit, you can see that the grams of gold is increasing, right? The grams of gold is increasing, and at the same time, what you can see, if you look at the price over here, some of them are up, some of them are down, right? This is where just consistently depositing 100 ringgit will average out the price. Okay, because here we are not going to watch the gold price every day. For us, our role is that we want to protect the value of our money. We take a portion of our money and convert into gold. That is our role. Okay, and this is how you can do it. Next, some of you might be thinking, how do so now that you guys have heard about this, the problem of inflation eating away the value of our money, and you also saw like how can we potentially use gap account in order to protect the value of our money. Next thing, you wanted to you have some questions in mind right now. Okay, so what can you do? First thing, I would like to suggest you to review your existing plans. If you have something, if you maybe you already have some plans in order to protect yourself against inflation, you take a look at that plan, and then you can see whether is there any changes, right? Is there any changes that you can make, or is there a way that you can allocate another fund and ride the momentum using gold, for example? That can be one way. Next, some of you might be interested with gold already, but then you want to make sure that you are choosing the right company. Okay, therefore, please read more about Public Gold. You can always ask me questions. I'm always available. You can ask me questions because this is how I started as well. After reading that Wang Emas book, which you can see at the back of me, right? After reading that book, I was thinking, this is too good to be true. Which company wants to keep the gold for you for free? Which company wants to help you to protect the value of your money and never charges you in return? Therefore, I started, that's what got me started. I decided to give it a try. I experimented and it worked, right? It worked, and I find it that it's really working, and that's when my confidence with Public Gold grew. Okay, but then you don't have to trust me 100%. Do your own reading also. I highly suggest you to do that. Please do your own reading. Maybe you can start by Googling Public Gold scam. Okay, Public Gold cheating people, right? Start with that, because I also did that. I started with that, and looks like I don't really see any problem. Okay, maybe they face some delays in delivering the gold bar. Okay, like for me, for example, I'm supposed to collect a gold bar from Public Gold. I'm supposed to collect from them April last year, April 2020. But then, since we all know, because of COVID, the border between Malaysia and Singapore has been closed. Therefore, I cannot cross and collect my gold bar. So my recent communication with the branch manager, I told them, excuse me, sir, I am not able to collect my gold bar. So how are we going to arrange? They said, Dr. Naresh, don't worry. The next time you visit KL, you just let me know. I will arrange for you. Okay. So I'm supposed to collect the gold bar, and the delay is not from their side. Okay. The delay is actually my side because I am not able to go and visit. They didn't say that, no, Naresh, since you didn't collect, it's not yours anymore. Right? They didn't say that. They said you can always come and we can always arrange. So this further strengthens the confidence with Public Gold. Okay, and maybe some of you are already interested about this gold account. Some of you also said, okay, maybe I can give it a try. I can start with 100 ringgit and I want to test waters. Okay, I want to see how it works. Okay, you can always open a Gap account and start your dollar cost averaging, just like how I did. Okay, with that said, thank you so much for your attention. Some of you, if you want, you can always connect me on a Facebook page. You can also join my Telegram channel. Just search for Diversify with Gold. I also have YouTube channel under the same name, Diversify with Gold, where you can subscribe, where you can watch the videos. You can ask me questions. Okay, I'm always open. I'm open to questions. Okay, because my role here is to tell you this is a way on how you can protect the value of your money. We work so hard, we protect, we thought that keeping the money in the bank is the way to go, but inflation is robbing us blindly. Okay, so we cannot control inflation, right? We cannot control inflation, but we can control our reaction. What is our reaction towards this inflation? This is where I believe public gold, especially the gold accumulation program, can be useful. Okay, and yeah, with that said, thank you so much. And if you have questions, you can always ask me. Right, let me just see whether is there any questions. Thank you, Sumitra, for the comment. Okay, if you have any questions, you can ask me. So for those of you who watch this later, right, you can always watch this later. If you have questions, you can just drop your questions at the comment section below, or you can personally WhatsApp me, send me a WhatsApp message, and I'll be able to answer your queries. Okay, and maybe I can just show one more time the gold bar that I have started with. Okay, again, this is the gold bar that I started with. Okay, it's a 10-gram gold bar, and you can see the Post Malaysia. It's what bird is this? What do you call this bird? Burung belatuk. Yeah, I know it's burung belatuk, but I don't know what to call it in English. Okay, burung belatuk. Okay, this is the 10-gram gold bar with Post Malaysia, which again shows the credibility of public gold. Okay, again, you don't have to believe me 100%. You go and do your research, go to the website publicgold.com.my, and you see for yourself. Okay, and then this is the one, and then I have also half dinar. Okay, half dinar is basically 2.125 gram again, right? And then another one I would like to share with you is this one. This is 1-gram gold bar, and usually what happens, they will launch different designs for Chinese New Year. Okay, so this was launched during the Rooster year. When was the recent Rooster year? I think 2017. Okay, 2017 was the recent Rooster year. So again, it comes in a very presentable format like this. Okay, so for me, what I did, I started the Gap account. I bought that 10-gram gold bar, and then on and off, I just top up my Gap account. And like I said, I didn't actively involve. I just put it aside and just let it grow. At the same time, I was looking at other ways. And by the time I come back and take a look, then I remember, oh yeah, I have this gold bar, right? What happened? Let's check the price. And I was shocked in a happy way, because the amount that I spent to buy this gold bar, now if I choose to sell it back, I'm actually getting a profit already, right? And that's when it further strengthened my confidence with public gold. Okay, with that said, thank you so much for your attention. Like I said earlier, you can always join my my social media platform. I think I've put in the comment section. You can click the link and join me. You can join that particular group, or if you want to chat with me through WhatsApp and ask me questions, please by all means do so. All right. And again, my mentor is Tuan Zulkifli Shafi'i, and he is the founder of the group G100. Okay, G100, and I am part of that G100 network. And that's how I started this movement known as Diversify with Gold, because I I'm not going to say, I'm not telling people to concentrate in gold, sell all your property and buy gold. That is not the intention. My intention is that we have savings in our bank, or some people are struggling to save in the bank. So Public Gold has this program known as Gold Accumulation Program, where everybody can benefit, right? 100 ringgit per month. If you cannot do every month, do every alternate month. It's also fine. But we must do something. That is my point. We must do something, otherwise inflation will keep eating away the value of our money. Okay? I hope you find this session useful. Thank you once again for listening to me. And again, connect with me if you have questions, and I will see you in the next session. Take care and bye bye.